Hello, and welcome to this webinar on accidents involving pedestrians. I've called this webinar, my name is Nikki Carter, I call this webinar an update because it's really kind of a chance to pull together some decisions that have been made very recently, update a little bit of some case law that in one particular instance where there's been a successful appeal, and just look at what the court did in that situation. But I wanted to pull together is to try and drag in one place, really, all the cases, provisions that apply when we're talking about pedestrians. And I wanted to talk a little bit initially about, I've called it public places, but really what the theme of this is, well, you know, we've seen cases from the European Union. We even had a case here, case of Lewis and the MIB. What goes on when we have an accident that occurs on premises that we can call by any other name private premises, not a public place or road? Is there liability on the part of an insurer? In other words, is there an obligation for insurers to insure vehicles on private land? Is that the case? If it is, and there isn't any insurance, then the MIB will step in, as they did surely in Lewis. So is that the situation, or have things changed? So I want to talk a little bit about where we're at with that, because of course, it is not the situation, and there would not be obligation for compulsory insurance in that circumstance. We'll talk about why. I want to talk a little bit about the kind of accidents where the pedestrian is both an adult and a child. And in those two scenarios, where are we at when it comes to findings in respect of contributory negligence? I think there's a bit of a story with pedestrian cases, and from a claimant point of view, not a good story, I guess, because if we go back to cases like Eagle and Chambers back in the early 2000s, we did see actually certainly a theme where claimant pedestrians certainly were always considered to be in a situation, unless they leapt out in front of a vehicle, be in a situation where they are likely to recover, and that their con neg, if there is to be any, is going to be less than the liability on the part of the defendant. In other words, less than 50%.